welcome back to Cry Scream Relax. So I am on a manifestation journey. I am trying to be the best version of myself so that I can create this amazing life for me and my children. So every day I'm trying to do different techniques, affirmations, meditations, journaling, vision books, self-care. I'm trying to do it all, right? And I'm documenting all this process because I want to know, if I put everything that I have into it, will it work? But I think there's a side that is prevalent to knowing, which is this is real life. So there's a lot of people online that'll be like, manifestation, just do this and it'll work. But what nobody talks about is the darker days, the shittier days, really. I have suffered with prenatal and postnatal depression, which then turned into a really long depression called dysthymia. And even though I am trying my absolute hardest to stay on a frequency that is positive and filling myself with gratitude and love, I still am overwhelmed by the negativity that is constantly creeping its way in. And I think it's just important to be like, even though you are trying to manifest, you are going to feel negative days, you are going to feel the negative side effects to this, because I feel like whenever you try and do something good, it's almost like something bad has to happen. It's like the yin and yang. It's like 2 steps forward doing something great and then 2 steps forward back. It's like the negative energy. It's like a test. Sometimes it feels like the universe is giving you a test of, I'm going to just throw you in this shitty position and I want you to see if you're going to fall back into your old ways and your old patterns and your old habits, or are you actually going to level up and say and become the thing that you've been wanting. And I feel like that for the past, I'd say, week, I was like, right, every day I'm going to post on Instagram. Every day I'm going to post on YouTube. And then when the darkness set in, it's like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes and then something happens and then it's like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. And then before you know it, a week's gone past and I'm just like, this is bullshit. Like, why is it that I'm trying and I'm trying, but the darkness is setting in? So I just want you to know that you have to use everything that is happening as a process. Cry, Scream, Relax is formed on that process. It is, if something shitty is happening, from the minuscule little thing to the greatest thing, whatever it is, let it pass through you. Let the emotion ride the roller coaster. Let it come in. Cry. Get it out your system. Scream. And then come back to a sense of grounding and a sense of relaxation, a state of calm, where then you can be like, okay, I've reflected on the matter now. I've let it pass and now I'm coming through onto the brighter side. And I think that's the problem, because a lot of the times when you're feeling so down in the dumps, you're depressed, you just feel like, what the hell is happening? You're filled with, anxiety, or you're just in that deep state of depression and you are so stressed out and you can't see clearly. You honestly think that there's no light at the end of the tunnel. When I was going through prenatal postnatal depression, it was so difficult to think, oh my god, there's going to be better days. When I was going through dysthymia, I didn't ever think that I would listen to music ever again, because I just couldn't even listen to music. I didn't want to do anything. Everything just felt numb and dark and I could not see the light. And then the light came. But always there is that little bit of negative energy that wants to creep in, that wants to dampen your day or your week or your month. But you have to remember that out of every shitty situation that comes into life, you have to be like, okay, I'm grateful right now that I got to wake up and try this whole journey of life again. Like, I have another opportunity to make it right. That is how I'm seeing things. I'm like, yesterday was shit. There's no I can do about it. But today, okay, I've woke up, I've put the camera on, and I'm like, okay, let's go, let's make this video. People need to know that it's not all sunshine and roses and everything, and that it is hard. It is hard to be in a positive state. It is hard to keep yourself on a frequency that is love and light and gratitude and positivity, because shit happens all the time. And we also have to know that everybody has a different life. Everybody has different life circumstances. So me doing this with 3 children, one of which is severely autistic, on my own, I don't have a partner, it is hard work. And then somebody who's a single person who has no partner, has no kids, they can live their best life, but that's not to say that they're not having something really shitty have experience happening to them right now. So we're all having different experiences, and we're all having a different time. You know, I'm a carer for my autistic child. There might be a carer out there who's looking after their partner, their parents, their grandparents, their children. So, you know, and then there's somebody out there who doesn't have kids at all. There's somebody out there that has 1 kid, but they've got a really supportive husband and a really supportive network of family and friends. Like, we're all living different lives. So we're all trying to manifest the best for what we think is the best version for us. Again, manifestation, what I want, what I'm manifesting is going to be completely different. I did my friend's vision book the other day. So basically what I did is just used creative craft paper to just like make Dutch doors, just to set it out for her so it looked nice, and then she can put all the pictures in however she wants and write all the quotes wherever she wants. But when her printer wasn't working, so I did the printing for her, and I was like, oh, so, you know, like in categories like career and goals and travel and life and whatever. And it was so interesting to see that even though we have been friends for 2 decades we have been friends, but yet her outlook of what she wants for the future is completely different to mine. It's just so weird. Like, wow, you want something completely different, which is fine, but how she's going to go about manifesting that is obviously going to be different to me. Yes, she can put in she can put in the practice techniques, but it's always going to be different, and there's always going to be something that hinders her from doing something where she's going to have to overcome it, and it's going to be a completely different hurdle for me. And you have to remember that it does get tough. I do believe that it gets really shit before it gets better. It's just like, it gets something like, it's gonna get, like, you're going along and you're like, yeah, I'm doing this, and then all of a sudden it's like, boom, hit a brick wall, and then you feel like you can't climb over it, and then all of a sudden there's a tiny little like crack in the wall and you can burst through, and it's like, yay, and then you're on it again, and then it's like, boom, now there's an even bigger wall, and there's a whole flood coming towards you, there's a storm coming, and it's like, ah. But then all of a sudden you break through the wall, you find a boat, you can paddle along, and then it's like, now I've reached land, and you're like, woo, and I've made it to my destination of where I want to be. But you have to go through hard times. It's not easy to just be like, I'm going to meditate, I'm going to manifest, I'm going to say affirmations. It doesn't work like that. You have to completely embody who you want to become. My future self is not going to have stupid little issues going on, because I am going to be so abundant in every aspect of my life that everything's going to be great. And even when shit does hit the fan, I'm going to be like, it's cool, I've got that covered, it's cool, we can fix that. That's how I want to be in my life. I want a very nice, slow-paced living life with my kids being able to just run around in the land that I own. And for me to achieve all that, it means that I have to put in all the hard work now. So every time I feel like I've hit this brick wall and I feel depressed, I feel the negative energy creeping in, I'm like, remember why we are doing this. Remember why we're doing this. I'm doing this so that my kids have that freedom to be able to run around in fields and, you know, go collect some chicken eggs and, you know, learn about the land and conservation. And that's the type of life I want my kids to have. I want to be like in a family compound. I want those type of, just those nice lazy day living where I homeschool my kids, you know, and everything's just nice. And to get that seems, some people might be like, oh, well, you know, you can just put so much money down and buy some land. But I am starting at rock bottom. I am starting with zero money. You know, I've got no resources. I've got my camera, and that is the only resource I have to be able to tell people this is what I'm experiencing. Maybe if you're on a manifestation journey, you might feel that you are stuck at this point. Don't give up. That is the entire message of this. Don't give up. Remember why the hell you are doing this in the first place, and remember that it's always going to get shittier before it gets better. I do truly believe that. So keep going, guys. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to go find an affirmation and say it to myself nice and loud. See you in the next one.